The rushing. After the world began to close down, there came a great rushing. We scrabbled at the walls of our world, trying to make sense of it all. There was the rush to do, a rush of Zooming, DIYing, gardening, homeschooling, cleaning. We attempted to turn ourselves into Booker Prize winning novelists, Dead Poets Society teachers, twisted sourdough starters. There was the rush to give. We dropped virtual coins into virtual boxes and dropped food around to our neighbours' houses. We ran around our houses for charity, tapped at donate buttons, gave pieces of ourselves for free, our time, our skills, our expertise. I found myself staring at my reflection on a stamp-sized screen, while on another screen, two boys invented magical farm creatures. I felt I was talking into oblivion. The boys treated the screen as another form of classroom. Behind all this rushing was the quest for meaning. We wanted to figure out what had happened to us. This must be a chance for us to reinvent ourselves, to discover parts of ourselves that had long been hidden. Some viewed it as a 21st century plague, God's vengeance upon us. Others saw it as a chance for the world to reset itself, to heal. It couldn't simply be a pinhead plague that appeared one day, held us to ransom, then vanished, could it? Then lockdown came, and the rushing stopped. We simply were. And when we stopped, meaning came to us. We saw a world bursting with life. We began to savor our walks, our gardens, our children. We saw what we had lost, but we also saw what we still had. Time gave us a gift, a chance to get to know our children, to fulfill long-buried ambitions, to bring order to our houses. And we realized that it was okay. It was okay if our sourdough starter never became more than a sourdough starter. It was okay if our children never learned Mandarin or cracked open a book at all. It was okay if we found meaning in watching two teenagers find first love as we sat on our couch, or if we found enlightenment at the bottom of a family-sized bag of crisps. For myself, I began to find meaning by looking at the source, at literature and music. Prayer and meditation offer valuable paths to meaning, and I have ventured down those paths. But nothing plugs me into the meaning of life quicker than words and music. As a grounded social butterfly, I was forced to gather every nugget of wisdom I had gleaned from books and from the wise ones around me. I dug deeper and found the strength to move from one hour to the next. A lot of people find meaning in escape, in immersing themselves in worlds far from the ones in which they find themselves. I found meaning by reading the words of a man who had suffered far more than anyone could imagine, even now. Viktor Frankl survived the Nazi death camps during World War II, and he wrote an account of his experiences in a slim volume entitled Man's Search for Meaning. In it, he tells us that we cannot always choose our own circumstances, but we can choose our own way. I clung to these words as a life belt when poisonous waters threatened to swirl around me. Now we are rushing again, and we are pushing through the walls of our world. Life is returning to full throttle. But I hope that we will carry pieces of this time with us, the pieces that help to bring meaning to our lives.